Peace, Libra. Welcome to your October horoscope. Um, this is a month for experimenting with anything around your physical appearance and your wardrobe. This can be what you're doing in the world, how people see you, and it can also be in relation to health, but in a positive way. You can come up in a positive way. This can come up as well. Anything that you can change back if you don't want it is supported at this time, but nothing final, no final decisions until November, when all the planets will be direct, as we are still heavily in retrograde. um, Now, when I'm doing this video, which is in September, and we will still be in the retrograde energy in October, although all planets move direct in October, but it takes time for those planets to start moving and really get some momentum going before you start to see what is waking up. And so any decisions that you need to make with anything from November 3rd to the 18th is supported for final decisions. But for now, we're just in the contemplation phase. So you'll have help from Venus in your second house, which can boost your income or planning things for future income. If you need a raise or looking for work, these are themes that can come up for you. Um, Also, I would say if you had already been working on some of these themes in the beginning of the year, a lot of those opportunities can come back up once all those planets start to move direct, because um, you might have noticed that in the beginning of the year, you had all these things going planned and worked out, and thought things were finalized, but then like around May or June, you might have seen things like just stop, and that was because all these outer planets went retrograde. So partnerships are highlighted as well. We have retrograde in partnership signs, and the eclipses are in partnership signs. And so everyone is asking the same types of questions about relationships, and you're probably going to notice this too. So ask questions, do your research, gather data and information in relation to anything that you're working on, any trauma, any old issues, any past issues. If you're wrapping up on some projects, start working on those things now instead of starting anything new, and you'll have more support for that. And then you'll get more pieces to the story once all those planets move direct. So then you can actually start to make some final decisions about things. Um, how are you going to balance your energy in relationships? This is always a question that Libras are asking. As a Libra rising, I could actually agree to all of this, especially now in my life. More so partnerships than anything, but also family, friendships. These are all relationships. Libra rules over all relationships, contracts, agreements, business partnerships, not just marriage and romantic relationships. So um, I would even say this could have a lot more to do with your relationship to yourself, seeing as this is your rising sign, and you could be having this in your first house. Um, you know, um, how much are you giving to yourself, what you're expecting from others? Um, are you doing the same things for your family that you want back from them? There has to be some kind of balance there with Libra. It's always about finding the balance, and making sure you're not overdoing, over giving, over providing in any of your relationships. So how much are you going to give in relationships, and how much are you going to give to yourself? Could be some of the questions that you're asking. And it would definitely be a good time to ask those questions, do the research, gather data again, and, deal with any past issues, trauma that you may have going on. I would even suggest counseling or some kind of mentorship. Um, if you have that kind of family support or somebody you can trust to talk to, bounce ideas off of, would even be a great time to do any of this kind of things. The eclipse season has been offering this topic of writing, speaking, publishing, learning, how we learn, how we teach, how you learn. Do you want to teach? Us versus international. International life, immigration and international business. So you might get some movement in this area at this time. um, if you're thinking about writing a book, if you're doing any public speaking, if you're doing any writing or creative writing even, um, if you're teaching, even with your children, if you're trying to teach your children, or anything around teaching, but it doesn't necessarily have to be you. Again, gather information, do the research, and work through, work through the answers, the questions that you're asking yourselves about these things. It's really, really going to be helpful for when these planets do start to move forward. You're going to start to see a lot more traction, and you're going to get more pieces of the story to make really good decisions on whatever it is that's coming up for you around any of these themes. Yeah. I hope this information was helpful. Peace.